News about Gaza. This is from Suppressed News. The March of Return today. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are finally going home, crossing through the dismantled Nazarium corridor and heading north after more than 470 days. So, this is part of the ceasefire agreement that if Israel responds accordingly, the Palestinians are allowed to return back. They were pushed away. They were moved away, obviously, with the genocide, with the wiping out of their people and wiping out of their villages and their neighborhoods. I don't know what they're returning back for. Like, honestly, there's nothing left of Gaza, but they're now allowed to return back home. And this is a bit of video that a Palestinian woman is going to state here about this triumphant return. Listen to this.
موت في أرضه ما بسيب أرضه ما بسيب أرضه يجي يتفرجوا. هاي الدليل قدام عين ترامب. بلغوا العالم كله احنا مستعدين نموت في أرضنا، ما نسيب أرضنا. أرضنا احنا تعذبنا، احنا ارتمينا، لكن ما سيبنا أرضنا. بيحلم ترامب، بيحلم في إذا واحد فينا بيطلع على مصر ولا على الأردن.
So there was a lot of subtitles there. I should have read it, but I didn't. Obviously too quick for me. But basically she's saying that the Palestinians, this is our land. We're going to fight every chance we get to preserve our land, preserve our people, preserve our culture. We are not going to fold to Netanyahu. We're not going to fold to Donald Trump. We're not going to, put ourselves into Jordan or put ourselves into Egypt, and so on and so forth. And it seems all good and well that these people are returning home, that the Palestinians are able to go back to their lands that they were pushed out of aggressively by Israel. And it looked like the ceasefire was going kind of well until this happened. And like I stated, the ceasefire agreement, don't hold your breath, because at some point things are going to turn around. That eventually Israel is going to pull something out of their sleeves. They always have that dirty trick up their sleeves to turn things around. We saw what happened with the boy that got shot, and the man who was trying to save the boy got shot by an Israeli sniper. And now Trump, who was supposed to be the mediator of this, is allowing Israel to take 2,000-pound bombs to Israel, undoing Joe Biden's promise. Undoing Biden's pause. Kind of amazing that the differential between Republican and Democrat. Like, Republicans will do the war immediately, but the Democrats will be like, I understand war is tough, so we're going to take a slight pause. Like the typical liberal phase. It is slight pause. I still want the war, but not right this moment. Till after we do book club. So this is a video here of Trump being interviewed by a journalist, reversing Joe Biden's pause on the 2,000-pound bombs being sent to Israel. And here's Trump's response to this. Trump was supposed to be the mediator. That he didn't want the war. He wanted peace. I don't want dead bodies. That's what he said about Ukraine. That's what he said about Israel. Now it's certain that he's gonna fold to the demands of Israel, demand to the Zionists like Mary Madelson and the rest of his cabinet. And I really don't even know about Ukraine at this point, because it seems like he's gonna fold to that anyway. And here's Trump returning back to the typical ways of allowing this genocide further on. Listen.
The Pentagon, Mr. President, just lifted a hold on 2,000-pound bombs for Israel, which was blocked by Biden. Do you have a comment on that, sir?
On the what?
On the 2,000-pound bombs that Biden had put a hold on?
We released them.
Yeah.
We released them today, and they'll have them, and they paid for them, and they've been waiting for them for a long time. They've been in storage for a long time, but we released them today to Israel.
Why?
We released them. We released them. They were stuck in storage. Okay, they were just taking up space, taking up too much space. I want there for my baseball collection and for Melania's dresses. They're taking up too much space, so we're gonna send them off to Israel so they can do more bombing. It's just okay. Okay. I love how he says they're gonna pay for it. Yeah, they're gonna pay with our money. We're paying Israel for this genocide. We're paying them to then pay us back by buying corrupt politicians to give them more money. And the only thing that's surviving of Israel at this point is that blackmail. That's the only thing that's surviving that country, because all the other businesses seem to be getting worse and worse. The economy is collapsing. People of Israel are leaving the country. And much like Russell Dobler and Keith Weiss state on Due Dissonance, that Israel looks like it's going to crumble because of the boycotts, because of people not flourishing this nation and this colony to go and advance more genocide. So the fact that he's saying like, oh, Israel's going to pay for it. Israel isn't going to do jack shit. They're going to steal more money from us and blackmail us to send the bombs and then send the money to buy the bombs, which then we'll just send the money back to them anyway. So it goes on. The article goes on. This is from Reuters, by the way. It says Republican President Donald Trump said on Saturday he has instructed the U.S. military to release a hold imposed by Democrat former President Joe Biden on the supply of 2,000-pound bombs to Israel. The move was widely expected. Widely. Could it be the fact that Donald Trump getting endorsement by Miriam Adelson, getting those luxurious checks? I'm sure it wasn't just the simpleness of her heart. I'm sure it wasn't just, hey, I feel awful by the betrayal the Democrats did to you. Here's some money to flourish your campaign. No, she was buying him out. And that's when Donald Trump, that same event, as Miriam Adelson gave him the check, Donald Trump says, we're going to make Israel great again. So, nothing's going to change. Meet the old boss, same as the new boss. Genocide Joe becomes Genocide Donnie. It's going to be the exact same thing. We released them. We released them today, and they'll have them. They'll pay for them. And they'll be waiting for them for a long time. It's been in storage, Trump told reporters at Air Force One. Biden put a hold on the delivery of those bombs due to concern over the impact they can be used on civilian population, particularly in Gaza's Rafah, during Israel's war in the Palestine enclave. Really, you think? Oh, we're going to hold off the bombs because I think you're going to do them for more genocide after we just gave you money for more genocide. God, you got. Anyway, one 2,000-pound bomb can rip through thick concrete and metal, creating a wide blast radius. Reuters reported last year the Biden administration had sent thousands of 2,000-pound bombs to Israel after the October 7, 2023 attack by Palestine Hamas militants from Gaza that put a hold on one shipment. Washington has announced assistance for Israel worth billions of dollars since the war began. When asked why he released the powerful bombs, Trump responded, because they bought them. No, we bought them. We did. We did. They blackmail us to send them money to then buy munitions. The only reason Israel has a chance to survive any of this is because of blackmail. It's because they rope and pull in other countries like the United States, Canada, all of its allies. They abuse, they harass, they assault, they put propagandized campaigns towards each other, all to flourish the needs of their horrendous military occupation of destroying Gaza, of destroying the Palestinians, because they want to be wiped out. They want to wipe out the entire civilization for the greater Israeli project. Earlier on Saturday, Trump said that on Truth Social platform, a lot of things were ordered and paid by Israel. They have not been seen by Biden, but now they're on their way. Now he's turning into an Amazon representative for Israel. Jeez. Trump and Biden have been strong supporters of U.S. ally Israel, even as Washington has come under criticism from human rights advocates over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza from Israel's military assault. Protesters have unsuccessfully demanded an arms embargo. Washington says it is helping Israel defend against Iraq-backed militant groups like Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Houthis in Yemen. And all of them come from the CIA. All these militant groups, look at where they're funding, look at where they come back from. They're all creations done by the military industrial complex, done by security agencies in order to preserve the war on terror, because they can't capitalize a war on terror unless they create the terror. A Gaza ceasefire went into effect a week ago, has led to the release of some Israeli hostages held by Hamas in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. Before his inauguration on January 20th, Trump had warned there would be hell to pay if hostages held by Hamas in Gaza were not released. So, they just released the prisoners. Hamas is releasing the prisoners. They don't mention a squat about Israeli releasing their prisoners. In fact, I don't think they have. I'm pretty sure they haven't. But again, none of the hostages matter in this situation. That's just leverage. This is all an exploit to further on the agenda of the greater Israeli project. It has nothing to do with the hostages, nothing to do with security, nothing to do with defending the people. The people at the music festival even knew that. The people at the music festival on that horrific day are suing the IDF because they knew there was a security risk from having a music festival next to the people you caged for years and decimated and destroyed for years. Hamas took around 250 hostages during the 2023 attack on Israel, in which about 1,200 people were killed, according to Israeli tallies. It sparked the latest bloodshed in decades-old Israeli-Palestine conflict. Israel's subsequent military assault on Gaza has killed more than 47,000 people, according to Gaza Health Ministry, and led to accusations of genocide and war crimes that Israel denies. It has also displaced nearly all of Gaza's population and caused a hunger crisis. Again, to wipe out the entire civilization. And the fact that they're shooting down people, that they're supposed to have a temporary ceasefire so they can recover the bodies that are left on the streets. The reason that they're shooting at them is because they don't want to rescue those bodies and retrieve them, because they know that there's going to be more numbers by the Palestinians that are died in this. And they want to keep those numbers low to manipulate people so you don't think it's actually an ethnic cleansing. You don't think it's a genocide. Oh, it's just a war. You know, war's hell. Everybody dies. The fact that Palestinians barely have any resistance, and you have a large force attacking them for many, many generations, going on since 1948, since the Nakba. And now they just give them more and more munitions to further the agenda, further the Zionist, cultish, hellish, demonic agenda of the greater Israeli project. And there's so many people out there that they can defend this and say, well, it's part of scripture and the Bible and all this. How many genocides has Jesus done? I know it's been a while since I've attended a Sunday school or stepped foot in a church, but I don't recall ever hearing a Bible passage or a story where it was our duty to massacre and wipe out an entire population for the return of Christ. I don't think I've heard that, but I might be wrong. So please, someone inform me. So just to remind people, this is what Trump said as just days after the ceasefire. After they announced for a ceasefire, it goes into effect. This is what Trump said at the inauguration process, where he openly stated that it wasn't going to happen, that he didn't think it was going to go well. Listen to this.
President, that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of the deal.
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident, but I think they're very weakened on the other side.
So he's saying that he's not confident. He's not confident. It's their war, not our war. Well, considering you're sending them 2,000-pound bombs periodically, it sounds like it is your war. It sounds like you are the ones that are using Israel to fight Gaza, to go after the Palestinians. It's almost like there's some sort of sinister factor with the United States getting involved in this. And not just the fact that, oh, there's such great allies and biblical proportions. It's almost like there's some sort of plot afoot. And he even stated the business backing, the real estate aspect of why we need to completely decimate Palestinians out of the areas. Wipe them off, completely desecrate their neighborhoods. Because there's a real estate factor to this. Listen.
Do you support the 2-state?
Gaza, boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place it's really got to be rebuilt in a different way.
Do you plan to help rebuilding Gaza?
Rebuilt in a different way.
You know, Gaza is interesting. It's a phenomenal location. On the sea, the best weather. You know, everything's good. It's like some beautiful things could be done with it, but it's very interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with Gaza.
Interesting. Fantastic things can be done with it. It's on the water. It'd be like the new Malibu. Like the new Malibu for people. We could do wonderful, interesting things. So, this is the real estate side of Donald Trump. That's also deeply invested. Not just the fact that, hey, Miriam Adelson bought him off, which plays a lot into the policies that he doesn't want to do a ceasefire, that he knew was going to fail. He knew it was going to fail. He knew that it was going to plop right out. He knew that Israel wasn't committed to it. And all the stunt of sending a guy over there to twist the arm of Benjamin Netanyahu and Netanyahu complying and him not coming to the inauguration, it was all a stunt. It was all ruse. Because they knew eventually Israel was going to take attack. They're going to continue on this. And now Donald Trump's saying, well, you know, now it's destroyed. I saw a picture. Now it's destroyed. There's some wonderful things we can do about it. Wonderful things. And not just him, but his son-in-law. His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, says Gaza's waterfront property could be very valuable. Donald Trump's son-in-law also says Israel should bulldoze an area of the Negev desert and move Palestinians there. Yeah, it's just a real estate. It's just business, okay? We want to beachfront properties. I really don't know anyone that would want to even attempt to live in that area, knowing the sinister afoot of Netanyahu, of the IDF, of the Zionist ideology, the Zionist cult breathing down your neck. And the fact that they're actually paying Americans, the NGOs are paying Americans to flee their homes to make settlements in Israel just to kick out Palestinians. They're paying people. They're paying people to decimate an entire population that did not have to go through any of this. That the reason Hamas even exists is the fact that Hamas was paid by Netanyahu and his government to orchestrate a terrorist group to go after the Palestinians who want to liberate. Now, the Palestinians want to just live like normal human beings, the same way Israelis want to live like normal human beings. And they're all just caught up in this megalomaniac insanity. And it's just decimating the entire population of the Palestinians. But it's for property, waterfront value. So here's Donald Trump after allowing them to take 2,000-pound bombs from the United States into Israel to go after Palestinians to continue on this genocide. And we kind of knew about this. We kind of knew that this was going to fold because of taking money from Miriam Adelson, from taking money from AIPAC, and the fact that his cabinet is nothing but Zionist zombies. And even look at Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, who knows everything about the ins and outs of the military, has taught me about how the CIA operates, how the CIA gets involved in terrorist organizations. Now it's done complete 180. Now she thinks that, this is part of the combating jihadists situation. Sounds like someone from the Bush era. So here's Donald Trump now making the official statement that everything for Israel. Israel on top, America. We'll see. We'll see.
No one in history has ever stood with Israel and the Jewish people like I have. No one knows this better than the tens of thousands of my fellow citizens in Israel, where I happen to be very popular. Your fate is in your hands, and the fate of the USA and Israel is also in your hands.
Just a note that he's doing this as a favor to the Zionists, not the Jewish people, because the Jewish people are being decimated by the Zionists. They're trying to cultivate the Jewish faith to use that as a cover for their heinous actions, because they know what a evil cult it is. And like evil cults, they tried to decimate other religions and use that as a protector, as a blanket to cover their actions. And there's a lot of Jewish people that don't recognize Israel, that want to ceasefire, that want a peace deal, and have no business in flourishing the needs of people like Netanyahu.
I won't let you down. Vote for me. There's no president that's done anywhere near what I've done for Israel. Whether it's, I could name it. Should I name it? I won't bother. You know just as well as I do. And I've also kept you safe. And the other side doesn't even like you. So don't let me down. I will never let you down. Vote for Donald Trump. Thank you very much.
You may have not let them down, but you left America down. You left the people, especially the MAGA movement, who didn't want this to happen and want to exit out of the wars to make sure we secure this nation, people in the West here, and you let them down. You let them down. You advance more warfare in the hands of Miriam Adelson than you did for the people of America. And a lot of MAGA people, a lot of MAGA supporters are attacking Trump on this. They're actually speaking up. They're saying, how dare you? I thought you're supposed to be America first. You're pledging more allegiance to Israel. And sadly, that is the price that people are paying now, because of the fact that Israel has bought the entire political scape of America. And the fact that Miriam Adelson gave Trump basically a blank check to run his campaign, and now he owes her. And that's where you get all the Trump-appointed cabinet members who are also dead-fast Zionists, Zionist zombies, that don't realize what they are preaching, that don't even realize. Either they are blinded and brainwashed, or they are that sinister. They are a sinister part of themselves. They are part of the evil cultings that the Zionist movement, that global nefarious evil lurkings just get themselves into to decimate on human beings. And Trump is allowing it to happen. So like I said, keep the new boss, same as the old boss. Nothing's going to change. We went from Genocide Joe to Genocide Donnie. And luckily, there's more and more people waking up to this. Luckily, the MAGA people, even though a lot of them are, still thinking Trump is a hero and a saint, are looking at this and saying, no, you're failing on your mandate. You're failing on your anti-war promise that you pitched to people, and that campaign promise is broken. So, luckily, there's optimism in that, but there's not optimism